individual challenges. These aren't easy guys. Char and Eric Williamson, those are really talented players, and he certainly didn't look out of place. He probably looked better than one of the best in the midfield tonight, and we're going to keep pushing. I told him he's got high potential. We just got to keep pushing him. He's got to keep growing. His ceiling is what he's going to make of it. He's a very talented player.
Stu Meyer from the Horn, you mentioned about how the team seemed to get a little, out of sorts or whatever towards the end of the first half. What did you tell them to calm them down and kind of get them refocused as they came back for the second half?
Yeah, I told them that the first 35 minutes was as professional a performance as I've seen us have in with our team or any team. It was so balanced from start to 35th minute. Whatever happens on the field, you got to be able to manage it. And I think we lost momentum. We might have lost a little bit of our cool at moments, but you got to still finish out the half right. So I came back in and I was like, look, it's just about going out there and again, understanding that they're going to come with energy. They're going to come with intensity now. They got a goal to get back into it. But we got to stick to what we're doing. Get our shape, get our structure, use the ball, try to take the power from them, and give them credit. They came out in the second half and pushed. They started pressing a little bit more, but again, for us, it was about taking that away from them, taking the ball away from them, and utilizing that, trying to kill their energies, try to kill their spirit. But the third goal was always going to do it, and that's what you have to keep in mind. You got to stay hungry, you got to stay aggressive, go get the third goal, and that becomes the knockout punch.
Josh, not only you guys in the goal drought tonight, but you also get the historic first win at KVUE Stadium. Just what's the significance of tonight for the organization?
I think it's extremely significant. We had Anthony and Eddie in the locker room after the game, and in essence, they've brought us all here. They built this unbelievable stadium, delivered us to this fantastic community, and unfortunately, in our first two games, we weren't able to get goals, we weren't able to capture a win, but the fans, everything's been right, and tonight, all of it is right. We got the goal, obviously, to break that seal, and then to capture our first win in Q2 is it's a momentous occasion, and we're very fortunate to be doing what we do. And moments like this, from a first-year team to get your first goal, your first win, it'll be memorable. Certainly be very memorable for me, and I hope for a lot of these players and fans in this community, it's as memorable as the experience.
Kyle Bolton with SportsCast.com. So Josh, the focus is on the offense and breaking steel and finally getting that first goal. But talk about the defensive effort. Throughout all of this, your defense has played pretty solid and just doesn't get a lot of attention.
Those forgotten heroes.
Again tonight, it was again the same type of effort.
No, and I appreciate the question. You're exactly right. I mean, obviously our goalie gets. It's a funny thing. If your goalie's getting talked about a lot, you're happy, but you're also a little sad. And that means he's under the gun. He's having to make a lot of saves, and Brad's been fantastic for us. But it's collective. Our offense starts from the moment we have it. Our defense starts from the moment we don't have it. So obviously Matt and Julio have been fantastic. Z's been great, and as well as Hector. He's done a great job filling in for Nick. And there's good experience out there, good balance out there. And again, having Alex, Diego, and Tomas, guys that are real warriors and competitors right in front of that, it helps. But it's a collective. It's a collective effort. But our team, certainly has experienced a lot these first dozen games, and tonight was a very all-around professional performance. But our defense has been probably the more consistent aspect of our game throughout the season.
Claire Partain with Bostonia. Like Mark said, Danny Pereira, Toto, and several other players had one of their best games of the season tonight. What's the importance of these guys kind of feeding off each other's energy on the pitch?
Yeah, I think it's critical. I mean, again, on the field, off the field, you can see these guys coming together. Again, we'll have a nice gathering tomorrow, at the training center where we can sort of be around some of your family. And that's part of it. That's a big part of it. And getting players to adapt to our country, our league, to one another, to us as coaches. You need to interact on the field and off the field. And that camaraderie has been great thus far. But again, when you bring, there's so much personality and character in guys like Pereira and Cecilia, and even Tomas. He comes out of his shell when he's around these other guys, and it's hugely important. Camaraderie and chemistry in Major League Soccer is again one of the most fascinating things, because I don't think it's like that everywhere in the world. And it's a big component to successful teams in our league. It's great to see. But those guys look for each other on the field. They feel comfortable with each other on the field, And that's what you want to see. You want to see those relationships budding on the field as well as off the field, because then you're fighting for your brother, you're fighting for your family, and that's where we know we're moving in the right direction, because these guys are killing themselves for each other.
Last question for the Bills.
Yeah, I guess there's two parts. Like just about the three in the back that you guys had in attack. With Julio, it looked like similar to Colorado. On the first two goals, the attacking move started with him breaking lines, and then I guess the second part of it to that is like how much of that is intentional, and then was Alex being back there more of a stability move for transition moments, or more to have another player to maybe see some of those passes?
I think we build with three with Alex back there, we move Tomas back there, we move Pereira back there. I think the idea for us there is to have the field be, again, it's about positioning. Our whole game is built on the position aspect, so when we can widen the field and make it expansive, it's tough for them to catch up. The ball moves faster than any player can, so we expand the field a bit. We still have numbers in between lines, but we're able to bypass them out wide. That's what it gives us in a quicker way. So once we're able to do that and start unlocking the wide areas, they have to answer that. And when they answer that by bringing something out wide, then we have some areas in the middle. But Julio, Matt, Alex doing a great job. You got to break lines. You got to bypass guys on the outside, break lines essentially. But for us, I think we hit on a lot of things tonight that we've been talking about and focusing on. Again, we've built up in different structures all year. And I'm not this looks like a 4-3-3, but when we have the ball, there's a lot of movement to what we want to do. We want to have familiarity for us, but make it really challenging for the opponent. And it starts with some of our organization, but also some of our movements. And tonight was really nice. I saw nice fluidity, nice interchanging, and it really paid dividends for the guys. So I'm really proud of them.
Is there a formation that you were playing in build-up?
I mean, we move to a lot of things. I mean, we're 4+2 or 4+1. When I say that it's we have a back line intact, we have two center mids, we bring a weak side winger inside, so we vary it considerably. And a lot of teams do that, and it's, for us, it's what are we looking to do, and what areas are we trying to get access to, or what are we trying to exploit. So, it was a great job, obviously, by the entire group, because it can't be just one guy that unlocks it. We utilize each person, and certainly the person on the ball has a large part to do with it, but everyone off the ball has a role in the positioning or the movement. So we'll look at the film, but pretty pleased with that look like.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Coach. Jon Gallagher will be a couple minutes.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
How'd you get here so fast?
Okay, everybody. We have about 15 minutes or so with Jon Gallagher. You want to start, Eric?
Mauricio, really quick, I hate to be picky. Could you lower the mic a little bit? Is that possible? Perfect. Thank you.
Is that good?
Yeah,
Great.
good.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
John, you're going to give all credit to the teammates. You're going to bask in this moment.
No, we'll see. Ask me and then.
I am asking you.
Oh, okay. Is that the first question? No, I mean, look, it's a really well-worked team goal. I think all of them were, even the set piece, something we've been working on in training. Giving Alex free and he scores, but I mean, the first goal, Josh pretty much set it out at training yesterday. This is how we're going to get me into the pocket, turn, play Poche wide, or the runner Hector, and get to that cutback space as soon as you can. And I mean, fair play to Poche, he's put it on an actual play, and it's a pretty straightforward finish for me, so I won't take all the credit.
Mark?
John, we talked a few weeks ago about this possibility of like scoring the first goal at Q2, and I asked you how you might react, and you said, I'm just going to lose my mind and just scream. That's exactly what you did.
Yeah.
But what was going through your head the moment the ball came over? You mentioned Poche put it on a plate for you, and my stomach kind of tightened up for you because it looked like you could just guide it in.
Yeah.
You did a great job of it. What was going through your head at that point?
I mean, it was more just focused on getting that touchdown. It was pretty lucky. I was like, oh, that was pretty good. And then I was like, oh, now I've got to get in the box. And then, yeah, I mean, it's straight in my path, and I've just really got to redirect it. I didn't have to do much more. And lucky enough, it goes away from the goalie, and I just take off. I mean, it was a surreal moment. I'll never forget it. It still hasn't really sunk in. I've visualized it for the last few weeks. Obviously, wanted to score a bloody goal for a while. We all have, but myself in particular. So, just happy night.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mike? And then Chris.
I guess first, were you feeling some injuries or something, some knocks? Was that what you came on in the first half?
Yeah, I hurt my foot in the first 5 minutes. We'll see what the verdict is on it tomorrow. We get a scan, but I played 40 odd minutes on it, so we'll see. It was pretty bad around the 38th of the clock, but I just didn't want to use a sub for the team, so I told them to hold off. So obviously the games in the heat, using one window, I think we have 3, so it wouldn't have been ideal, so I just bit my tongue and kept going. I was pretty useless the last 5 minutes of the first half, but just tried to take one for the team there.
And then, obviously the lack of scoring has been talked about a lot.
Yeah.
You kind of feel a little bit of relief and teams start playing a little bit looser after that?
Yeah, it's a strange one. I mean, I've been on teams where you're not scoring, but that's because you're not creating chances. I mean, you've seen the Q2, we've just been dominating games, peppering the goal, especially the first 10-15 minutes. Is something we really have been doing well. It's frustrating, and you get that from the camp, but at the same time, you're like, one of them's got to go in, one of them's got to bounce off someone's head or the thigh or something. We got to get lucky. We just know that when that happens, it's the floodgates open. But I don't know. I woke up having a good feeling this morning. I just thought, F it, we're going to score tonight. We have to.
Chris Mills.
Yeah, John, you guys have, like you said, you've created so many chances the last few weeks, but it seems like most of them are against set defenses. I'm wondering how much it takes the pressure off. The first 2 goals came from Julio right at the lines.
Mm-hmm.
How much does that take the pressure off when you have more of a numerical advantage and are able to sort of get into those pockets, like you said?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think the coaching staff does a brilliant job of scouting the opponent's weaknesses. Something in detail that I've not experienced in my previous teams is just how tactically smart the coaches are. I mean, every game they draw out a plan about how we're going to exploit them, and it's worked nearly every game. And obviously that final ball just wasn't there. I don't know what it was, nerves. I think Josh touched on it. Guys just being more selfless and making runs in the box to make more space. I think you saw that a lot today with the goals. Guys just doing their job. Okay, I'm not going to score here, but maybe I can. And if I don't, that guy's going to be open. So, yeah.
Is there a line there though? Is there any times where you feel like there's too much information flying you guys that maybe that's starting to
No, I think it's more just a confidence thing. I think playing under Josh has been a really big adjustment for a lot of people that haven't. I know myself there's a lot of information, but that's been since preseason. I've come in and said, wow, there's a lot of detail here, but everything that he shows us, he'll show us why it works, and then you'll go out in the training field and you'll do it and it will work. So that gives you confidence.
When you see the ball go in the back of the net, are you able to process the response and the energy from the crowd, or does that kind of all get tuned out?
Yeah, it's funny. I usually don't watch the ball go in the net. I usually turn my head and know it's already going in. It's just something I've noticed whenever I tend to score goals, even in training. You just know it's going in. It's one of those that came off the foot, and I went off. And I was screaming so loud I couldn't hear anything. It was just like letting out all the frustration and a big sigh of relief. Just
yeah. What was the message that Coach Wolff gave you guys at halftime? I mean that there was a goal conceded at the last touch, but what was the message that
I was in the training room, so I don't know. Yeah, I was getting assessed by the doctor, but I heard quite a bit of screaming from some of the players, so they weren't happy.
Stu Myrick from the Horn. A lot has been made, of course. Got the goals tonight, but been scored. But the defense has been outstanding these 3 home matches. Talk for a second about the fact that yes, in 3 matches you've only allowed 1 goal. here at Q2?
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. The back four, it's not only back four, you know, it's the whole team, the structure that the coaches give us, the plan, like we execute it, and we're hard to break down. So that gives us a lot of confidence saying, okay, you know, we haven't scored, but we're unbeaten at home. And all we need is for one goal to go in. We know we can get 3 points. So now the job is just to build on that and make this place a fortress. I mean, it's hot. We can use that to our advantage. We work the ball well. We're hard to break down. I mean, that's pretty frustrating for teams to come in and play.
John, I know you referenced earlier that the set piece goal, and obviously around the set piece goal was something you guys pulled out in training and worked out to get out of that header. Set pieces hasn't been something you guys have gotten too many opportunities from so far this season. So just can you kind of walk us through the process of what that's been like practicing and training, and then obviously the excitement of building that fire tonight.
Yeah, there's a big emphasis on set pieces from the coaching staff, and that's been since the first day we got here. They showed us that the teams that were most successful with set pieces usually make the playoffs. So that was a goal of ours. I know there's a lot of detail put in, a lot of video, and then obviously the day before working on certain plays, and not only offensively but defensively not conceding too. So yeah, it was good to finally get one in the back of the net. And they just, you saw the coaches were probably celebrating that goal the most. So.
Claire?
Hey John, first 45 minutes you're on the pitch, you're focused, but once you were on the bench, were you able to kind of take in the ambiance of just all of the energy all night?
Yeah, so I came out in the 70th minute after I got like bandaged up and was able to walk again. I was just sitting there with a smile. We went 3-1 up, so at that point I kind of knew the 3 points were ours, and yeah, it was amazing. It's funny that you brought that up because yeah, I was literally just sitting there trying to take it all in, like big smile on my face, like wow, this is I struck gold getting myself here.
Yeah. It feels like a story you'll probably tell for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the extent of it. Hopefully it's not too bad. There was a point when I said, okay, I've got to go down and try to get some ibuprofen or something just to get me through. Because I was like, I don't want to get taken off this early. I still feel like I can give something, and then I think I scored like right after coming back on the pitch. So yeah, and then obviously didn't want to use the sub. So yeah, it was tough. It's like a bit of a sweet night because I don't know how bad it is, and I hope it's not. But coming off was pretty devastating. I was pretty frustrated at halftime.
Bob?
Is it bigger to score the first goal in franchise history or the first goal in franchise? Who has a bigger bragging rights, Diego or you?
Let's say Diego. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he scored again today, so I don't know. It's a tough question. I'll ask the fans, see what they say. I mean, they love Diego, so they'll say him.
Eric and then Mike?
John, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was your left foot you scored. Is that the one that's giving you problems?
Yeah, it's ironic, isn't it?
Yeah, so you must have not heard in that one.
No, I didn't feel a thing because adrenaline is pretty special. So.
How do you guys capitalize on this and use it for momentum and not just kind of a one-off?
Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier, I think the team's been playing really well. So now that we know we can score goals and score that amount of goals in a game against Portland, in a team like Portland, that's going to give us a lot of confidence going forward. And you know, you get the crowd on your side now, you get the town behind you, and people start believing like, okay, this team can do stuff. You saw the performance tonight, so yeah, the boys are happy, and now it's obviously trying to switch focus to Wednesday.
We have time for one more. Mark?
Okay, it's just kind of a comment, John. You made history tonight. I mean, how long do you think it's going to take for that to sink in? Do you really realise what you've done? It's so significant.
Yeah, I'm like shaking still. It's insane. It won't sink in for a while. A lot going through my head at the moment. I'm just really blessed to have family in town and some of my best friends watching. So yeah, really cool.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Enjoy the match. Talk to you soon.